Yesterday, Donald Trump announced he would be deploying federal law enforcement and bolstering the National Guard in Kenosha, Wisconsin to end the unrest. He had a conversation with the governor and they agreed upon this. But we're also now learning a bunch of new information about what happened. It turns out the man who got shot, Jacob Blake, according to the DOJ, had a knife. In fact, it appears he may have been reaching for it before he was shot several times. We're learning more information about the individuals who were killed in Kenosha, and videos emerged showing that they were basically threatening this kid. And I got a lot to go through. CNN, of course, is calling it fiery but mostly peaceful protest. I kid you not. But let's just start with this first story from Newsweek. Kenosha protesters arrested, forced into unmarked cars by police. Yes, Newsweek, that's called being arrested. Let me first just show you the video here. It's from Riot Kitchen. They say, Riot Kitchen HQ just learned that our bus crew was arrested in broad daylight in Kenosha today, kidnapped by feds in unmarked vans. We are currently trying to find our friends who were just there to feed people. Please share and donate for bail via Venmo. And we can see in this video, the police come up, they pull the people out of the van, and then the people get arrested. Now, we can only assume they're feds. I don't know for sure. Newsweek is saying that they're police, but the activists are saying, the leftists are saying that they're feds. So let's read a little bit. They say videos emerged showing law enforcement officials in Kenosha, Wisconsin, detaining people and forcing them into unmarked vehicles. In one clip, several vehicles with no license plates can be seen surrounding a silver van at an intersection. One officer smashes a window before a woman is pulled out through the open door. One officer then drives the silver vehicle away from the scene while others are being detained. The people rounded up are believed to have been members of Riot Kitchen 206, a nonprofit that provides meals for protesters and the homeless. The group was in Kenosha to offer food to those taking sport in the mass demonstrations, which have broken out in the wake of shooting of Jacob Blake. Now, I don't know if these individuals in the van were only giving out food or if they were participating in the riots or if they're being arrested for providing support to the ongoing unrest. No idea what the charges are. No idea what they're accused of. All we have is this one video to go off of. But I'm telling you this right now. I'm done. I'm done with all of the games they're playing. Look at this. Jacob Blake had a knife in his car. They lied about Blake. They lied about Floyd. They just lie every single time. Okay, not literally every, but too many. Almost every single story we get is not true. So at this point, I'm erring on the side of these people in the van probably were engaging in the riots, probably using food giveaways as an excuse or as a cover. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. But I'll tell you what, innocent until proven guilty. What I'm saying right now is you got arrested. OK, let's see what happens when they go to court and they go to trial. And if they can prove that these people were actually involved in doing, harmful things or helping the rioters, then so be it. But I'll tell you this. I have no goodwill left for these individuals who are going and aiding in the destruction and the mayhem. Check out this story. Newsweek says Jacob Blake had a knife in his car when he was shot by police officers 7 times, 3 days after the police shooting set off unrest in Kenosha and several other cities. State authorities have revealed some of the first details about what led up to it. Not only this, but apparently Blake himself confessed to having the weapon. They say Kenosha police have revealed little about what happened on Sunday evening, other than to say that officers had been responding to a domestic incident in the 2800 block of 40th Street at the time. Now, the DOJ has said the officers arrived at the residence after a woman called police and said her boyfriend was present and was not supposed to be on the premises. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported that a dispatcher told officers there was an alert for a person wanted at that address for some reason. Blake had a warrant issued for his arrest. He was facing felony charges, trespassing and disorderly conduct. And here we go. The cops are told, we got a domestic disturbance. This guy's got a felony. The DOJ did not reveal details about the case, but said officers had attempted to arrest Blake when they arrived. The department identified the officer who shot Blake as Rustin Shesky, a 7-year veteran. Shesky shot 29-year-old Blake while holding onto his shirt after officers first unsuccessfully used a taser. Mr. Blake walked around his vehicle, opened the driver's side door, and leaned forward, the DOJ said in a statement. While holding onto Mr. Blake's shirt, Officer Rustin Shesky fired a service weapon 7 times. Officer Shesky fired the weapon into Mr. Blake's back. No other officer fired their weapons, the DOJ said. None of the officers were wearing body cameras because the police department doesn't have them. Blake admitted that he had a knife in his possession during the investigation following the shooting. State agents later recovered a knife from the driver's side floorboard of the vehicle, the DOJ said. No other weapons were located in the vehicle. The DOJ did not say Blake threatened anyone with a knife. Rayshawn White, the man who said he filmed the video of the shooting that circulated widely online, told the AP that he heard officers shout, drop the knife, before they shot Blake, but said he didn't see one in his hands. And they're rioting over this. And you know what else they're rioting over? I tell you what, murder suspect, suicide sparks looting and unrest in Minneapolis. They are lying about everything. These people who are going around smashing things are not fighting for justice. And you know what I think is going on? When you see these Democrats coming out saying it's the fault of it's the fault of the people defending their property, it's because they know they're going to lose and they have to lie to everybody to convince them you must vote for us. That's it. They know that these people are criminals, that they're dangerous, they're violent. A murder suspect shot himself and they looted buildings over it. These people don't care about justice. They're just trying to steal stuff and they're using it as an excuse because the media is letting them. Because the left and the Democrats are so insanely desperate to win, they don't get it. You just got to condemn the violence. They don't want to, though, because too many of the people they're trying to get to vote for them, listen, the Democrats are trying to get the vote from people who like this, will show up to your home. GoFundMe is allowing one of these extremists who hit the kid over the head with a skateboard. They're running fundraisers for the guy. Blake, who now admits to having a knife, a witness saying the cops yelled, drop the knife, drop the knife. This guy's got $1.7 million through GoFundMe. You mean to tell me that you could be wanted for a felony, fight cops, and then grab a knife? And when the cops defend themselves, you get $2 million? I'm sick of this, man. I hope the Republicans sweep across the board. But this is why the Democrats and the left and the media are playing this game. They need you to believe that what's really going on is a fight for justice. Because if people find out that the Democrats are supporting the looting, the rioting, and the murder and destruction, they'll vote for Trump in a landslide. So the media narrative will continually be fiery, but peaceful. What did it say? CNN Chiron calls Wisconsin riots mostly peaceful as correspondent stands in front of a burning building. Yeah, and the Chiron said something like fiery, but mostly peaceful protests. There's a viral video right now where on CNN it said violent protests. The Chiron gets erased, pops right back up. Same exact sentence, but they removed the word violent. They're doing this to help the Democrats. Don Lemon said it. He said it's showing up in the polls. So right now you have all of this for what? Police immediately provided medical aid to Blake, the DOJ said. On Tuesday, Ben Crump, an attorney, said Blake is paralyzed. Crump called for the officer who shot Blake to be arrested and the others involved to be terminated. The DOJ has yet to announce any charges. The DOJ's Division of Criminal Investigation is continuing to review evidence and determine the facts of the incident and will turn over investigative reports to a prosecutor. The prosecutor then reviews the service report and makes a determination about what charges, if any, are appropriate. I'll tell you what, man. Go watch the Mythbusters episode about a knife versus a gun. Because you know what you need to see? The knife within 21 feet, a knife is more dangerous than the gun. Now, of course, in this instance, the cops had their guns drawn already. But these cops are probably trained to know that if someone's got a knife, they can cause lethal damage with one stab. And so he fired seven times. He fired to end this guy because he didn't want to die. I'm not happy about it. I wish it didn't have to be this way. But Blake has admitted, according to the DOJ, to having the knife, and they found it. So when when Blake was walking to his car, he didn't just try and sit down. He was reaching into the driver's side, and a witness said they yelled, drop the knife, drop the knife. And they found the knife. Is this witness in on the conspiracy? Is Rayshawn, the guy who filmed it. Rayshawn White, he said he heard officers shout, drop the knife, drop the knife. Does he work for Trump? Is he part of this grand conspiracy? They told him, just tell him you heard us say it, okay? Yeah. He's a dude in his room. He filmed it. He's the one who posted the video. There's no conspiracy. The guy had a knife. This is insane to me. And I'll tell you what's really crazy. Andy No, providing some information on the people who died. First of all, this guy right here, one of the guys who died, was actually threatening and citing the guys with guns. He was walking up, watch the video. He's telling them to shoot him. He's saying it, come on. And he's insulting them. You see video then There's a video analysis of this dude, Kyle Rittenhouse, being chased, and he fires in self-defense. Turns out this guy is a registered sex offender. This guy, Anthony Huber, 26, who was shot and killed, has a history of domestic battery. I don't know. A lot of people are saying he hit the guy over the head with a skateboard. I don't think that's true. In one of the videos, it looks like he doesn't hit him. He's trying to hold him down, and he's holding the skateboard at the same time. This still makes it look like he hit him. I don't know if he did. Maybe he did. But to me, it seemed like he was trying to grab the gun, and he was trying to hold him down with the board. Then Kyle rolls over, boom, rifle in his chest. The other guy apparently was also a felon who wasn't supposed to have a gun. The third guy, I guess, is part of the People's Revolution movement. And he has a criminal record that includes being intoxicated and armed with a gun. Apparently, people are saying he wasn't legally allowed to be armed. He had a Glock. I don't know from a distance because I'm not a gun guy, but people are saying he had a Glock. And he runs up. Now GoFundMe is allowing Anthony Huber, one of these extremists, to raise money. Here's what they said. The hero who gave his life attempting to take down a gunman. You mean chasing a 17-year-old kid who earlier in the day was cleaning up graffiti and trying to defend a business? Wow, how insane. Now they're going after Tucker Carlson, trying to get him fired. I'm just so sick of it, man. Look, I'm not happy that people lost their lives. Quite the opposite. But what do you think? When people go out and riot, burning and looting and killing people, what are we supposed to do? Now you've got these memes going around, and they're lying about who this kid is, what he was doing, why he did it. They're saying that he just murdered 2 random people, and I'm like, they were chasing him, and in one video, and you got to watch this. It's really hard to know for sure, but you hear around like 8 shots. The first guy who got shot in the head, you hear several shots go off, and they're distinct. You hear about 4 shots, then you hear like 4 separate shots, maybe 3 or 4 separate shots. You can tell they're different. They sound different, they echo different, and they're clearly at different locations. Someone else, several journalists pointed out there are flashes in the background, very faint. It looks like they were shooting at Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't know if that's true, but you do hear the shots, and it does seem to be that he was shot at first and he fired in self-defense. Now, the guy who got hit in the head, I don't believe was armed. We don't know for sure, but they were threatening him. This is just a conflict. So I'm not happy about anybody losing their lives. But apparently GoFundMe, they'll take down the GoFundMe for the people defending their property. I want you to understand something. They have been going to residential neighborhoods, and they did it yesterday in Kenosha, screaming, "Wake up." They've been doing it in various other cities. I want you to know what this GoFundMe means. He was a hero. That's right. When the mob comes to your house, like they did to the McCloskeys, and they threaten you, and they tell you they're going to take your home and burn it to the ground. And if you try to defend yourself, they're going to come out in the media. They're going to launch these finance campaigns and say, you're the bad guy. The regular person living in their home saying, please leave me alone. And I've said it over and over again. You think they will pass over your house? No, they won't. They're going door to door, figuratively. Now, here's what I really mean in the long term. Sure, right now, you can go and hide. And maybe they won't come to your neighborhood. There's a C-SPAN caller. This woman said, she was asked if she was scared about the riot. She said, yes, they were 7 miles from my house. 7 miles? It's kind of far, right? It's actually really close, though, don't you think? Here's what I'm worried about. Right now, you have random riots going around. They've already gone to several individuals' homes, people like Cassandra Fairbanks. They attacked one woman at her home in Portland. They're now going to neighborhoods, they're armed, and they're attacking people. Several people have died because of it. They're burning down businesses. They clubbed a 70-year-old man over the back of the head because he was trying to put out a fire at his business. He was spraying the people who were looting his business, to be fair. But that's no excuse for what they did to him. He was defending his property. They will eventually come to your house. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in a year, but maybe in a couple years. If this continues, the far left morality police will show up for review. And they'll tell you that you are bigoted or you're cultural appropriation or whatever, and you can't do anything about it. That's the direction we're headed in unless we all stand up and say no right now. I quite literally am saying speak up. Let people know you don't agree with this. Challenge these corporations that are doing this. Because I'll tell you, there's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing other than they want to destroy your life. Unrest in Minneapolis? For what? The guy killed himself. Doesn't matter. In Chicago, a guy was shooting at cops. Doesn't matter. They just want to burn and loot and destroy. And then when you protect yourself, all of these big corporations and the media will say, you're the bad guy. The reason they're doing this, the reason I think GoFundMe is doing this, is because they need to desperately maintain the narrative that they are the good guys and the rioters are the good guys. Because regular people don't like riots. Like I said, Don Lemon noticed it's showing up in the polls. So they're desperately clinging to their narrative, and it's enraging me to no end. I'm seriously, I'm tired. I'm furious, and I'm sick and tired of the lies. 32 people dead. Is that enough? No. These Democrats need to be completely removed. We need to defund the media. These people are evil, evil people. And I'm reticent to say that. And I'm not talking about everyone on the left. I'm not talking about every single Democrat. I'm saying the people in the media who lie. The people at GoFundMe who allow fundraising resources to extremists who are attacking people in the street. Look, if you think that Kyle shouldn't have a fundraiser because he was out there armed, okay, then this guy shouldn't either, at the very least, right? They're rioting now because a guy killed himself. What does this even mean anymore? The New York Post says a murder suspect in Minneapolis committed suicide as police were about to capture him, sparking looting and unrest in a city still reeling from the death of George Floyd. They say about 90 minutes after the 6 p.m. suicide, police released surveillance footage of the incident to demonstrate that it was not a police-involved shooting. But protesters still made their way downtown. The demonstrations began peacefully. One protester even used a megaphone to tell the crowd the man killed himself. They didn't care. They didn't care. They don't actually care about any of this. I am warning all of you. What they want is just any excuse to destroy. There's no goal. What they're claiming, what they say they're fighting for, there's no real goal. There is, but what I mean to say is when they come out and say they're fighting for social justice, there's no plan. The only real end that they want is the city to be burned down, people to be living in fear. They will approach you like they did these people in D.C., and they will demand you salute them. I'm not kidding. They walked up to people and said, salute us or else. These people need to be stopped. So good on the law enforcement who arrested those people in the van. Now, I'm all about freedom over security, but you get arrested, okay? I'm not an anarchist. You get arrested, then you face, trial, innocent until proven guilty. I want to see more of this. I want to see the feds going around all day and grabbing suspects and arresting them. Some of these people may not be completely guilty. I understand that. That's what the left will say. These people are innocent. They're just chefs. Well, you're down there at the riot. You're a suspect. If it's true, well, then I hope you can, innocent until proven guilty. You are not, just because you're being arrested doesn't mean your rights are being violated. No, you have a right to stand trial. And you have your constitutional rights. You have the Fifth Amendment, all of these things, the Fourth Amendment. But I tell you this, man. If you show up to a bank robbery and you set up a booth to feed bank robbers, do you think that they're going to stand there and be like, these guys are all right? No, they're going to arrest you. And they're going to be like, what were you doing? Why were you doing it? You were aiding and abetting these criminals, providing resources for them. They might get them on that. Maybe it's a kitchen, right? It is a kitchen. Maybe that's all they're doing. But maybe they're giving water and food to these people. Maybe these people are then fueled and hydrated because they're being aided and abetted by the kitchen who wants to help feed these extremists who are burning down and destroying everything. At a certain point, it's overt terrorism. Overt terrorism. They're calling in the National Guard into Minneapolis. Thank you, Mayor Frey. And I mean it. I really do. Governor Evers, Mayor Frey. I take issue with I think these Democrats all got to get voted out. No joke. I think they all got to get voted out. But for the time being, that they're going to bring in the National Guard and allow Trump to have the feds come in and make these arrests. Good. Please. More. I'm sorry. If it were me, I wouldn't vote for you, though. At this point, I'm deferring to the Republicans. I know. And a lot of people say it's pointless because the Republicans are going to do the same thing. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I really don't. I don't historically vote. I voted back during Obama, and I'm like, yeah, go Obama. Woohoo. And then I was just like, wow, that was dumb. I'm out. I'm not going to vote for Republicans because I'm like, this is the be all end all solution. No, at this point, I'm kind of like, there's a new wave of individuals. Like Donald Trump is not an old school Republican. The Republicans are all endorsing Joe Biden. I'm not kidding. These all these cronies. So you know what? Let's try something different. That's all I can say. Something different. I was talking to Sean Parnell. I was talking to Billy Prempe. Going to have Kimberly Klasick on the IRL podcast. These are people that I'm like, I defer to you because clearly what's been going on with these Democrats has not worked. Why don't you guys give it a try? That's all I can say. So I'm in a place I'm in New Jersey, all Democrat governor, Democrat mayors. Jeff Van Drew in South Jersey, he was a Democrat. Now he's a Republican. I'm just going to say, you know what, Trump, Republicans, do your thing. And it's funny because I've had friends say, how will that solve any problems? And I'm like, don't know if it will. I'll tell you what, though, those feds that just, surrounded that van and arrested those people. Good. Why aren't local police doing that? Maybe it was local police. I don't know. We think it was feds. But Donald Trump has consistently said, I'm coming to end this. Give me the word. He sent the federal law enforcement out in Portland at the courthouse, and that proves to me he's serious. These people rioting and looting don't have a reason. And the leftists and the media and the Democrats who support it are doing it because they want to destroy everything. Well, I'll tell you what. I believe that if Donald Trump gets in a second term, he will clean things up. I think there is a real risk that we will have some freedoms curtailed. I'm not happy about it. And I've thought about this, long and hard. It's very difficult. Freedom versus security. But when they're going to go around and destroying everything for what? A guy who killed himself? What do we do? No one is making these people do this. There's no conspiracy. These Black Lives Matter looters and rioters are just doing it. So we have to stop it. Otherwise, we're going to watch our cities burn down and our families be put at risk. I'm not having it. But you know what, man? Maybe the answer is people just getting armed and defending themselves. But I'll tell you what, when this kid, he's from Antioch, Illinois, Kyle Rittenhouse, about 20 miles from Kenosha. Maybe he shouldn't have come out because he's not from Wisconsin, even though he lives like basically on the border. But what are people supposed to do? I watched this old man trying to save his business and they club him over the head. I watched a video of a guy almost in tears because everything his family built over 40 years was destroyed by these people. Donald Trump, man, send in the feds, make the arrests, have these people stand trial. That's what needs to happen. I got more segments coming up later. Next one will be at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.